45? I did. Okay. Well, ooh, right at 6:32. Man, not intentional. Wish I could tell you that that was on purpose. I did not look at the clock. Now, you got to bear with me a little bit. I got to kind of get used to my bearings. I got a new desk chair, which is probably my first new desk chair in 13, 14, maybe 15 years. I let that go for a long time because honestly, I have a standing desk, so I stand a lot of the time. But, you know, I'm getting older, so it's tougher to stand for as long. So I've been sitting a little more. Still trying to alternate with, kind of an even amount, or at least so I'm not standing too much or sitting too much. But I realized that, man, my other chair probably was fine the first 4 or 5 years, but it's way past that. And I mean, it wasn't a particularly good chair. It was one that just did the job at the time. But I didn't, ergonomic chairs, that type of stuff. I wasn't in any position to get a chair like that. Not to spend any. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't spend any serious money on this chair. This is not a Herman Miller Aeron whatever. But I didn't. When I got that chair, honestly, ergonomics, and I was not thinking about the duration or durability, I guess, or ergonomics of the chair at the time. It was just like, okay, I need a chair for a desk, right? In fact, I think it came with the desk I got, which is still the same desk. I've had the same desk for a very long time, and I really dread this desk ever actually breaking because it's a perfect design for what I want. I mean, it's the color's good. It's black and silver with kind of almost like Art Deco handles, these very kind of stylized handles. I think it's a Staples or a Office Max or whatever desk from years and years ago. Thing has served me very well. It really has. So I'm very careful around this desk because I always dread like breaking it because it's a nice desk. But I think the chair that came with it, was dirt cheap. So let me get a sip of water real quick. So I'm getting used to this chair because my other chair, the whole chair tilted, but it had a straight back. The back didn't recline. So now this, and I think most chairs like this, the seat stays stationary and only the back, the backrest, is that what that's called, I guess? The actual, backrest, I think, that reclines instead. So it's a little different because I'm used to the whole chair moving. So I have to get used to that. But there's a lot more adjustments on this thing. And there's like a lumbar support on it. There is a lumbar support on it. It's not similar to a lumbar support or, vaguely similar. It's a lumbar support that I can adjust. And so hopefully this is, again, it's not like I sit a ton, although now I've been playing a little more on doing more PC gaming. And I tend to like doing that better when I'm sitting for some reason that I can't explain. Anyway, getting a sip of water now. Excuse me. I have to keep my iPad from going to sleep or I think that'll break the connection there. By the way, I have seen a lot of people talking about the high CPU utilization on Twitch Studio Beta, so I may look at something like OBS, but I've read that there's a lot of little hang-ups with that too, so I don't know. Maybe just trading one type of problem for another. We'll see. I'm just not doing enough complicated stuff that I think I need something like OBS, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh boy. Water is great. Water really is great. Amazing how good something that has objectively no flavor can be. I've said this before. Sorry. Beating. Anyway, a little bit of streaming notes, or whatever you want to call these. Didn't do a Tuesday stream because I was putting together the chair I'm sitting in. And by the time I had it together and kind of made sure everything was tightened, I really just didn't have much time. And I figured, well, I don't really want to do a 20-minute stream. That seems kind of a little too short. I like to do at least 30 minutes if I'm going to do it. If somebody's going to come by and watch it, I like to do like 30 minutes. So I didn't do a stream on Tuesday. I am planning to do one tomorrow. Now, I think I'll do it earlier. I don't know how early. It'll be Pacific time. So early in there may be a variation for you, depending. But I'm planning to do one. It's going to be a little different because Lando's daughter, my co-host on the podcast that I do, if you didn't know that already, that I do a show every week with my best friend Lando. And his daughter requested basically how to draw videos or streams, whatever, for 3 things. all cartoony things. One was a cat, one was a person, and one was a background. So I'm going to start with the cat. So this is going to be aimed at younger people because I'm going to keep it very simple. And I'm not a teacher or anything, so it's probably going to be a bit of a train wreck. It's not like I have any ability to teach. I don't have a teaching style. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to try to make it something that anybody could understand. But honestly, I have no idea how to do it. So it's, as far as instruction, I can explain things, but I don't know that it's going to really be. I'm not doing any planning. I'm gonna try the first one right just off the cuff, because I have no concept of how you would teach something. So I'm just gonna kind of do it how I would work it out in my head and see if that makes sense. I don't know if it's going to, because again, I'm not a teacher. I've had people say, "Oh, you should teach XY drawing," and I'm, really? I should? I don't know if you understand what teaching involves. I mean, there has to be some kind of coherence to it. I don't know that I'm a teacher. But whatever, I'll try it. I'm going to try it because she asked, and I said, sure, I'll give it a try. So tomorrow I'm going to do the how to draw a cartoony cat video. And I don't draw animals even all that much because, well, I just don't ever really have a need for it, but especially not cats because, actually, no, that's right, I have drawn some cats. I'm not the biggest cat person. I don't dislike cats. Don't misunderstand. I have no problem with animals in general. Animals are fine. But cats are not really my type of pet because I like my pet to not seem like it's as happy to see me fall off a cliff as it is for me to walk through the door. That's why I default to dogs. Dogs love you. Dogs want to see you. Yes, they lick you a lot, and I'm certainly not going to say that they're a more lower maintenance animal than cats. Cats are generally very independent and take care of themselves, but they also don't seem to really care if you exist. I kind of want another being in my midst to care whether, I live or die in the next 15 minutes. So, I'm not necessarily a cat guy, but I'll draw a cat, sure. All right. So somebody's joined, so I'm gonna start. This is a long and short way of not short at all. This is a long 8-minute explanation of the fact that there's going to be another stream tomorrow. When normally I don't do it on Friday. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to try to do it a little earlier, or relatively earlier. Again, due to Pacific time, that may not be early for everybody, but I'm going to try it. I'm just going to see how it is to kind of. I have a picture of a cat that I'm going to basically have up behind me, so that I can, have something to more or less reference. And then I'll just kind of do a simplified, since it's going to be cartoony, I don't have to worry about it being too realistic or anything like that, so I'm not worried about hitting the reference entirely. It's going to be more of, cartoony means caricature, it means exaggeration, so that's fine. So I'm going to try that. So that's going to be tomorrow. But tonight, or today, or middle of the night, whatever it is for you, we're going to go ahead and finally get this done. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Sorry. I meant to... Let me just adjust the brightness on my iPad because... Where's brightness display? Because it turns it way down because it's later in the day here. Sorry. Okay. Let me come back. There we go. Ah, yes. Now my brightness equals what you're seeing. Because for you, it's very bright. I do like the fact that the mirroring thing does not care that my brightness is turned down, but I couldn't see it. Okay, so basically there's not much left here. Not really a ton left to do on this, which is fine. So we're just going to go ahead and let's check our line work. Okay, that's the right brush, yeah? Yeah, that's right. So basically we're just finishing off this hand. That's what we're going to be doing here. And so anyway, yeah, if you have... I've actually been very, very, very intentionally careful. Well, I just realized there's something I want to do on this, but anyway, I'll remember that in a minute. I've been very intentionally careful not to really swear too much on the stream. Not because I think anybody's going to be offended by it. I don't, most of the people that I've seen that I know are joining are adults. I'm not worried about it. But it's more of like a training thing to get myself in the ability to talk for long. I always find it's useful to kind of stretch a bit. So But that will do well for the stream tomorrow, because if I was just swearing up a storm on all the streams, it'd be a little harder to turn that off if I'm going to do a stream where young kids are going to be watching, at least one, as far as I know. So, I don't want to be swearing up a storm. So it's good training. So I've actually been doing pretty good at that, I have to say. I've been kind of happy at the fact that I think I slipped once. I think on one stream I said the S word, the 4-letter S word. I'm not even going to say it. I think on one stream I did that. Other than that, I've been pretty good. I don't even think I've come up to the line of it. I've been pretty good about it. Okay, so let's continue our detail work here. And this is all just no real plan. Oh, wait, let me make sure I'm the right layer, though. I think I am. I'm pretty sure it's details 2. Is it not that? Really? Wait, what is details 2? Sorry, bear with me. Oh, it's 56. 56, I should have renamed this already. Details 3. There we go. I like details to be together, so let's go ahead and actually let's make it. I don't know why I get so hung up on things like this. Oh, detail lines. Gotta fix that, or I'll go crazy. If I don't fix that, it'll drive me nuts. Detail, not details, detail lines 3. Okay, and that's that. Yes. All right, we're good. So yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to not swearing tomorrow on the stream. I don't even think it's going to be an effort, because I've just kind of been actively doing that. Again, not because I think any of the regular people, like there's a crowd, not because I'm really too worried about people who normally stop by being offended. I don't think anybody who has any familiarity with me is easily offended by anything I'm going to say. At least I would hope not. But just because I thought that I had a hunch. I had this hunch. I don't really know why, because again, I don't consider myself, I'm going to erase something here because I don't really like it. I don't consider myself any kind of instructor of any kind, but you know what? I guess I'll use the mask. I guess I will. Why not? I mean, I've got it. Yeah, okay. I just don't like that line being bumpy like that. I want to round it, kind of stub it out a little bit. There we go. No, it still doesn't look right. Hold on. Sorry. That I can live with. Okay. Anyway, back to the detail line. Let's fold the colors up. Oh, that's the sketch lines. I should have named that too. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. So I just had this hunch that at some point somebody was going to ask me something like that, like, "Oh, can you do like a training thing?" And I want to keep that kind of all access. I always, because people have asked me. That's what I mean about it's strange, because people have said it to me, and I never feel like I have anything near what you would need to be a tutor of anything. I just don't think of myself that way. I'm like, no, I'm a friggin' mutant. Who am I going to instruct? Who's going to listen to me? Like this manic weirdo is going to instruct people? And don't get me wrong, the stupidity of me saying that is my favorite art teachers were the weirdos. But I always think of, I can't think of myself in that vein where I could ever have people look at me and learn anything. I don't know. It doesn't work in my brain somehow. By the way, if my volume is too low, feel free to tell me, one viewer, because the mic is a little bit, I'm kind of moving it. I'm not used to the way this chair is now, so I think I'm a little bit further away from the mic. So I'm trying to project as much as I can, but I don't generally think about, where the mic is when I'm doing this stuff. But anyway, it'll be fun. We'll see. I hope that it makes sense. I mean, the other thing is there are artists who work in a very technical way. I guess I don't know how else to really put it, but they have kind of a mechanism to the way that they do, kind of like Stephen King and the writing a certain amount of pages every day. Where he's gotten into the rhythm of doing, if he's writing a book, he writes a certain amount of pages every day. And that allows him to, almost like with a baseball pitcher, to repeat the mechanics, to be able to understand, how the skill works, and to be able to control it in a sense, I guess. I'm not really sure if I'm phrasing this properly, but I don't have anything like that. I mean, if you've been watching this for any amount of time, you see that I just bounce around. I don't have any. Did I bump that? No, I'm okay. I don't have any particular. I mean, unless chaos itself is a method, but I don't think I have any particular guided approach to what I do. I just kind of do whatever floats into my brain, which, don't get me wrong, it works for me. It's fine. This is how I've done this stuff my entire life. But, oh, one thing that is fun, here's my pinball brain going off again, because I just happened to think about it. I think I've talked about it on, as much as I can on this, not in a while, I don't think, but on one of the streams I did, I mentioned that I had done a commissioned work for a big company. Now, I think technically I'm allowed to say the company's name, but I'm not going to. I'm pretty sure, because the NDA that I had signed came after the initial offering. So I think that, I just noticed, sorry. Let me fix that. I can keep talking while I fix it. I saw it. So I think I'm actually allowed to say who I did it for. But again, I'm this close to the thing actually being where I can talk about it. So I'm not going to screw with it. I want to just, want to keep everything the way it is. But anyway, I did a commissioned work for a major company. And I got an email that was asking if I had moved recently, because I'm going to get some kind of materials, I think, of the works in their form mailed to me. So they were asking, okay, if you've moved, you got to let us know so that we can get your stuff to you. So I hope, it said in the next few months. So I really hope that means that, I'm trying to play it smoothly, and I'm not trying to email the art director a bunch of times, say, hey, when is this going to happen? Because I'd really like to know, because I can't talk about it or show anything about it, which is mind-numbingly insane to not be able to, on a work that on works that I actually got paid a good amount of money for and are going to be seen by a lot of people, to not be able to say anything, not show a single sketch or anything from it at all, is really maddening. It's really maddening. And I'm not, it's not like I'm I don't know, what a gloater or whatever the word, I'm not like some kind of show off, but at the same time, it's pretty neat, and I can't say anything about it. It's just, anyway, it seems like maybe that time is coming soon. So I'm hoping I'll have something that I can actually show. I don't know what I do. Maybe I'll do a stream while I kind of go through the process. That would be interesting, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't. But, well, you know what? Let's wait until the stuff's actually out, and then we'll see if there's any actual interest or anybody thinks it's a good idea. So one step at a time. The things haven't even been, whatever the term for what they're going to do with them is yet, issued, printed, manufactured. I don't even know what the name for it within the industry is. I'm sure they have some kind of phrasing for it that I don't know, because I don't know. But, yeah, sounds like maybe soon. Oops, that was bad. We'll see. I hope so. I really want to be able to actually say something about it. But anyway, okay, so I already covered up there. Yeah, that stuff's okay. You know what? I don't know why I have compulsion to do that. Just need that middle part filled up. So yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. We'll see how that is. I have to admit, it's been a while since I've done a cartoon kitty cat. At least in the way that I'm going to be doing it in this, or that. I shouldn't say this, because that makes it sound like I'm doing it on this stream, which I'm most certainly not. But it should be an interesting little thing to do. And I like the idea of there's something that is kind of nice about the potential of having young artists actually pay attention to what I'm saying. But again, I kind of it's man, teachers do not get paid enough. Good teachers don't get paid enough. I have to admit, for something that is extraordinarily casual, and I know Lando and is not going to hold me to any kind of any type of, I don't know what the word would be, standards or anything or requirements. But I'm kind of like, you don't want to tell kids how to draw badly. So I'm going to try to emphasize the whole, the Bob Ross idea of there are no mistakes, there are only happy accidents. Even though I have a lot of trouble embodying that in my own stuff, because all I see in my work is mistakes. So yeah, happy accidents. Bob, I envy that mentality. I wish I could get behind it. I can project it even if I can't embrace it. Because man, If there is one thing about me looking at my own work, it's the inability to not see every little stupid thing that I wish I'd done differently. A lot easier in digital, as I've said before. This is the beauty of digital. If I really see something and I can't live with it. Oh, hey, where'd my thing go? Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Where? Oh, there it is. It's turned sideways, so I know what I was looking at. Sorry, I know what I was looking at for a minute. I have no idea. Oh, my thumb went over and hit the gallery button. I was like, how did that happen? Because I bumped the gallery button with my thumb. Yeah, with digital, at least I can go back and fix stuff. So if I look at this a week from now and decide that, I don't know, that bump I just made is no good, I'll just erase it. It's easy. That easy. So that is the best part about working in digital, is the flexibility to just change things, to just change whatever you want. Okay, so let's take a look. Now what I'm basically looking for are gaps, or things that I think aren't quite filled in enough. I like just making little marks. I like things to look kind of busy-ish. There is a beauty in negative and empty space. Not everything. Oh, I was going to do that. Okay, let me think about this. So now on the disc itself, let me think about this. I think what I want to do, just to give it a little bit of depth, a little bit, it doesn't have to be a ton, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go into the color, and we'll go one above that. Okay, hello, there we go. Turn off this color. We're going to just add a little bit of that. Okay, then we're going to jump in here. We're going to go to our brightness. We're going to knock our brightness down 5%, like that. Let's just knock it down 5%, please. Thank you. Let's bump this back. There's our dark color. Hey, Faintwaves, how you doing, man? I am doing well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm doing all right. Cannot complain, even though I probably will no matter what. Thanks, man. It's, it's getting there. It's pretty close to done. Pretty close. I'm just doing kind of little detail stuff, little tiny things now. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw ourselves a grid. So we'll say drawing guide. Oh, there's our grid. I'm not going to be too precise on this, but I do like my lines to be straight. I mean, if there's a drawing assistant, why wouldn't I use it, right? So let's go ahead and shoot that. Wow, that tells you how unstraight the disc actually... Okay, never mind. That's revealing how unstraight this disc is. So we're going to go ahead and turn the assist off, and we're going to just eyeball this, because, yeah, that's bad news bears right there. Okay, so let's just take this, and we'll just do it by eye. And we will say there. That's good. So that's going to be a shadow line there. Let's think about it. Where else would we need one? Oh, why is there... Did I do that? I bet you I did. Oh, sure did. Oh, I'm thinking. How do I do this the way I want to do it? Actually, you know what? Do I want a shadow line there? Hold on, I got to think about this. Because if I do a shadow line there... You know what? Yeah. No, why not? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and put a shadow line, because, I mean, there would be one. So let's go ahead and fill this in, right? And then what we're going to do is this is going to change a few other things, because if this is the only place there's a dark shadow, it's going to look stupid. So this can't be the only place. But fortunately, I already have logical places to put the other shadows. Now, I don't know, by the way, just to roll back a little bit, I'm going to put something in this space. I don't know what yet. And this skull right here will change to be my kind of, the skull that's actually behind this window. You can't see it right now. Yeah, no, it's nowhere in here. But when the picture disappeared, that skull will be what replaces this one. This is a skull from a different project, but I kind of like I guess it's my logo skull. I don't know, or my skull logo. My art logo or whatever. I kind of like that better. That's one of the oldest pieces I have. It's actually on... I don't know what the phrase is for that. It's the thing where... Scratchboard? I think it's Scratchboard. That's what they call it. Or that's what they called it when I did it. So it's basically like it's a piece of black. It's like a coated black board. And then you used, I don't know if it was just a, I don't know if it was just like a, what do they call the pens where you have to fill the nib? It's not ball. No, ballpoint is where it's already got the ink. What the hell? An ink? No. What is the term for that type of pen? I actually don't know. You know, the old-timey pens that have the hole in the tip. That's called a nib. I know it's called a nib. And you dip it into ink, and it fills it up, and then you write until the ink goes away, and then you have to redip it. Whatever that pen is called, and I feel like it's a really stupidly obvious name that at one point I would have known in 2 seconds, but I can't remember it now. Anyway, whatever that is, it was a tool of that type. So it was basically like a scraping head on, and it may even have attached a, God, I cannot think of what that pen is called. Whatever that type of pen stem is. Inkwell. You know what? That's probably it. I thought that, and I'm like, no, it can't be that, but that's probably what it is. Yeah, an inkwell pen. Yes, thank you. So it's essentially an inkwell pen, unless I made that. No, we'll take it. I mean, it's better than what I've got, which is nothing. So if you made it up, it's officially what I'm calling it now. An inkwell pen. Works for me. So anyway, it was something like that where it's got kind of one of those handles, and you'd put this little scraper in it, and then you would take the scraper. Oh, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to use these shadows with the lines as the dark areas. Which means I'm going to have to do a dark gray area. Yeah, no, maybe. I might do something different with the gray. We'll get to that. In any event, so you would take that, oh, here, this place. Okay. So you would take that and you would scrape away the black, and so what you were doing is you were making a negative, well, you were starting with the negative. It was coated in black, so that was the negative. And then you were basically scraping out the positive, if that makes sense. So you were doing kind of a reverse of what normally you would do. So, for example, and I'm sure this is fairly obvious and I don't have to explain it, but so if this was the canvas, this here, the scraping, because it was white underneath, the scraping would be like this. So you do like scraping, right? And see, you're revealing the white. And that's what it is. So it's blackboard with white. That's all it is, right? So anyway, that skull, the one that I'm talking about that's like the logo for all my stuff, it's a pretty small, I have it nearby. How big is that? It's right behind me. It's probably about 5 or 6 by 5 or 6. It's square. I think it's 5 by 5. I'm looking at it, but I don't have a ruler or anything. I'm going to say it's 5 by 5 inches by 5 inches square. Anyway, I always really liked it. So I scanned it years ago. I scanned it. In fact, I got to clean up. That's one thing I realized as I started. It does come up when you search inkwell pen fountain pen. That's okay. Fountain pen. Even though it really doesn't make sense because what's the fountain about it? Is it the fountain of the ink coming out of it? That's not really a fountain. I like inkwell better. We're sticking with inkwell. A fountain? No, I don't like that name. We're not going with fountain. We're going with inkwell. I'm fine with inkwell. It makes more sense to me because it's a well of ink within the nib of the pen. Therefore, we go with inkwell. So your first guess, made up or not, is correct in my terminology. Inkwell, it is. So anyway, I scanned that scratchboard in, and I'm fairly certain it is actually called scratchboard. It may have a different term at this point, but I'm pretty sure it was called scratchboard. And I always kind of liked it. There was something about it that was appealing to me. And so I scanned it, and I kind of, at first I just cleaned it up. There was a while where I had this kind of purity thing where I was like, oh, if I did something in a traditional media, then I'm not going to put, I'm just going to scan it and make the levels correct on it, but I'm not actually going to change it because I want to preserve the integrity of the initial piece, blah, blah, blah. Pretentious nonsense. I was like, why am I doing that? I can make a nicer version of this with digital. Why would I leave it? The original form, I'm not going to throw it away. I still have it. It's right behind me. So it is there. I can observe it. I think I may have saved the unmodified version in a folder somewhere. But why would I want because I look at it and there's parts of it where I didn't scrape everything entirely away. So it's a little bit gray as opposed to white. And I'm a big monochromist. I like harsh whites and blacks. I like that That should be fairly obvious, I think, except when I work with. But even my colors are not. These are not graded colors. You know, this isn't a bunch of subtle hues playing with each other like the flavors of a wine that you can see the essence of this blending with it. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm a brutalist, I guess, or whatever. I'm brute force. So, you know, there were parts of it that didn't scrape away completely. And I'm sitting there going, why would I not go in and perfect something in essentially the most non-destructive fashion there is, because I'm taking an analog scan and I'm digitizing it and changing it. So I do have to clean it up a little bit more, though, because I cleaned it up enough for putting it on a business card, which is fine, because at that size you can't really discern the stuff that I didn't really do. So it's fine, but I know it's not there. You know, I know it's there. Or I know what is and isn't there, I guess is the better way to say it. So I'm going to clean that up, and then, I mean, even on this image, it's probably not even worth the effort. But I'm going to do it of the original anyway, so it won't matter. I'll have done the effort. Maybe I'll do that at some point tomorrow. I probably won't do it on a stream. Should I do that on a stream? Would anybody care about that? Would that be worth streaming? I don't know. I never know what anybody's going to care about. I mean, I think about stuff, and I'm like, no, nobody's going to watch that. But maybe they would. Maybe it'd be interesting to see me to, you know, take something that was analog and do the work on it. I don't know. Maybe I will. It's not a terrible thing. I mean, it's tracing over my own work, but who cares? It's not really tracing, because I'm gonna change things. I don't like some of the scrapings, so it will get changed. Okay, I did that one. I did that one. I did that one. That's everybody. Okay. So maybe I will. All right, now this metal piece, this gray piece, it's metal, as I just said. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a stipple brush. Because I want to add like that. You know, if you know brushed metal, this type of metal has a bit of a texture to it. So let's use this. Let me take a look at something. Let me add a layer. Let me do that. Or actually, don't do that. What I should do is a blot. I need a blot so that I can get a big boom. There we go. Now let's take the brightness. I'm going to drop it down 5, just 5. I don't need a ton. I want this to be overly, you know. All right, we'll sample that color. We'll erase it. Now we'll come back to our stipple brush. I don't think. Nah, I don't like pixel. I'll stick with this. And this is going to be actually, what size is it? Oh yeah, no, that's okay. Let's knock that down to 10. And let's just do a nice even coating. And this is really just to give some texture. There. That's it. I don't even think I went outside the lines, did I? Let me check. Just to give the metal a little bit of something, you know, so you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a little bit. I don't know about that. Hold on. Yeah, let me see. Let me see something. If I do a little more, that probably fill in that's okay. Yeah, that ain't bad. Except I think I'm going to miss the edge there. Oh, no, that's okay. No, I don't mind that. Run a little bit there. Yeah, just to give it a little texture. I mean, nothing. I could really do that for the whole thing, because zip discs did have like a matte or like some kind of texture to them. But at the same time, I don't know if I want to go crazy. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. You know what? I don't think I like that. It looks odd to me. Let me try a different. Let me see what we've got in our thing here. No. It's none of those. Maybe textures maybe might have something, but probably not. Ugh, I love this. It doesn't make any sense, but I love that texture. But it doesn't make any sense for this. But it's neat. I like it. I don't know. There's nothing that's really metal. There's nothing in here that's really metal-ish. No, that's too much. Myrtle's too patterny. Nope, that won't work. Something. There's got a newsprint. Well, newsprint's gonna look like newsprint. Oh no. No. Elements maybe. Nothing in there that makes sense. Materials. There is no. You know what? Maybe this would work. Hold on. Oh God, not at that size. I don't think it'll go small enough. I think that's the problem. Let's see. No, that's not going to work. Tricky. because I don't want to just pick some random thing. No, those are way too much of texture. That's light. Industrial, that's rust. I don't want rust. Clay cut, no, none of these. Jeez, this is going to take forever just to figure something out for this. Well, you know what? Maybe what I need is, let's try this. What does that look like? Hold on. You know what? I'm okay with that. Let's jack that way up and see what it looks like. You know what? Yeah, I'm all right with that. That's... I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop the transparency down on it because it's a little too heavy. I like the brush, but now it's too much. So what we'll do is let's drop the opacity down to maybe 50%. Yeah, see, that's all right. That's the texturing. I just want a little bit of texturing on the metal. Like, I don't do a lot of texturing either. But the disc, I know these discs had like a surface to them. So I don't want to just completely disregard that. And it makes it a little nicer, a little bit. So maybe what I'll do is the same exact thing for this part. So we'll take this. Now plastic's going to be a little different. So this is going to be a little bit, I got to figure this one out. I don't think pixel's going to be right for it. No, that's not right. Let me look through here. Drawing, painting, no. Artistic. There's nothing that gives me that kind of surface. You know what I mean? I want like a texture surface, but light. I don't want to go crazy on it. See, none of these are right. I mean, this is sort of close, but it's too even. It's not that even. So, abstract, nah. Charcoal, I mean, yeah, that's too blurry. If it was more fine, that could kind of hard rain. I don't think so, because no, God, no. That's just smearing. Spray, no, it's not spray paint. Not any of these. Stubble? I doubt it. No. Noise brush. You know what? Wait a minute. Huh. Let me see. So that might actually work if it's really light. That might. You know what? That's not bad. Let's drop it to about 30% because it doesn't need to be quite that huge. But let me see something. You know what the problem is? Hold on, let me see. The problem is that it's not spaced enough. It's almost what I'm looking for, but it's not spaced enough. Shame. That's close. It's close, but it ain't it. I don't think this will work now. Nah, see, it's what I want is something that's uniform. I'm just not getting it. I may just do something like that in Photoshop. It may be, because none of these are going to be right. I can already tell. Which is not, it's not, clay, I don't think so. Nah, that's not enough. Definitely water. Stippling, maybe. But then it's too close to the other. You know what? I'm going to leave it alone. This is unrelated to your piece, but I saw your Shredder's Revenge on a 5. I haven't listened yet. Definitely give him a... Oh, Shredder's Revenge is great. I have nothing bad to say about Shredder's Revenge whatsoever. The only thing I had said in my 5, and it's just a caution, because I am fully aware that there are different budgets for different people, and value is calculated on an individual basis. So the only thing about that game is that, especially if you're really good at beat 'em ups, you might go through it really quickly because it's 16 stages total. So I had read some people saying that they finished it in under an hour. We definitely did not finish it in under an hour. I would say it probably took us, because we didn't play it straight through. We played it over the course of, I'm going to say, 4 nights. So it probably took us about 4 hours, maybe 5, because we went back and did a couple to get collectibles. We haven't replayed it yet, so that's the only thing about it. Otherwise, mechanics are great, sound effects are great, soundtrack's great. The whole feel of the game is sensational, but it was $22, $3, $4. And for some people, they may not feel that they want more out of it. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I had no problem with that cost. I thought the game delivered what I wanted for that amount of money. Very entertaining. We're going to replay it. But and I'm not saying every game's got to be 600 hours long. That's certainly not at all what I'm saying here. But like I said, I know that for some people that may be a lot of money to spend on a short experience. So the only caveat I'll give you on that. Otherwise, I thought it was great. I still think it's great. It's just that's, for some people that might be a thing. And that's perfectly fine. I don't necessarily think anybody's wrong to say, wait a minute, I'm going to pay that much money for that. Listen, it's what you want it to be, I guess. I don't know how so for sure. Yeah, and like I said, it's expectation, because there are people who want every game to be 40 hours and a huge thing, and I'm not, because I just played through Cloudpunk. That review will be coming out, I think, next week, because I just finished it. That game is probably, I'm going to say it's around 20 hours. For some people, even that's probably too short, but it's a great game, and a very, very atmospheric and kind of experience-driven game. I think some people also probably wouldn't like it because there's no combat. It's really just mostly driving, being a delivery driver, and walking around talking to people. But I thought it was great. So, again, the expectations thing. So that was the only thing I said about it, is just, hey, be aware. You're not going to be playing this for 3 weeks straight. This is, you're gonna get the experience pretty quick. But outside of that, and I don't even consider that a criticism, it's just a, hey, be aware. I thought it was great. Wife did too. I mean, we had a blast with it. We wish it was longer just because there's not a lot of other beat 'em ups we haven't played already. So it really, we wish it had been twice as long so that we could have played it for longer. Because now we're just waiting for River City Girls 2 to come out, and I think they said summer, but that's 2 more months it could be. In any event, that's a completely separate thing. I think we're in good shape here. I think everything else I have to do with this. Oh, Cloudpunk. Yeah. I got used to it, and that did keep me away from it for a little bit because I was having too much of a Minecraft thing out of it. But honestly, everything else overcomes that so quickly that I don't think it holds Cloudpunk back at all. You just kind of forget about that because everything else is so well done, and the soundtrack is sensational. In any event, so yeah, I will have my. Oh wait, no. Was I going to do a review? I might do it in the show. I might not do a 5 on it. I might just do it in the show because I feel like I'll repeat a lot. So I might just do it on the show. I'll figure that out. In any event, I think I'm going to wrap up here because I think the rest of this is probably going to be just like doing small stuff and trying to figure a few things out. But because there's really not much else to do on this. There really isn't. I've got this where I want it. I don't want to overwork it either. So I think I'm just going to leave this as is, except for small, like replacing the skull and figuring out what I want the label to say, which will probably be like some kind of handwritten thing. Like, I don't know, I'll figure that out. Like, remember to eat brains or something like that. Or, I don't know, something like that, because it's got to tie into the whole thing of the hand and all the rest of it. But, yeah, I think I'm going to leave this alone and not risk overdoing it. So I think we'll just wrap up here. So tomorrow I will plan to do, I don't know exactly what time yet. I'll once I'm kind of in the neighborhood of when I think it's going to be, I'll put out a thing for it. But yeah, I'll try to do this. Like I said, I'm going to try to aim it. Yeah, you too, FameWave. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. But I'll put out a thing on Twitter and all the rest of the places and say, hey, if you have young kids or young artists in your family that want to see how to somebody drawing a cartoon cat, stop on by and witness whatever it is, and I'll try it. I'm not going to do any practicing. I'm going to do it completely the way I would do it, so it will be as I would do it myself, because I feel like that's the best way to show something like that. It's like, okay, here's the process top to bottom. I'm going to use I'll show the photo for reference, because I don't think it's bad to use reference photos. I know that's a big thing with some artists. They're like, oh, you should be able to draw everything from memory. Okay, I don't have that big a memory to begin with. So trying to draw things from memory is nonsense. That's not to say you should trace or anything like that, or at least not trace everything. If there's something you just can't get right, I don't even have a problem with that. If you know you want to have something in a certain way, and I'll probably repeat this tomorrow, trace that one thing, and as long as you're not literally copying someone else's art, if you're using it as a basic sketch place, I don't even have a problem with that. You shouldn't have your entire thing ruined because you can't get one thing right. That just seems, I don't know. I doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. But I'll show what the cat is, and then I'll basically kind of just doodle off that and see how it goes. And that will be my little instructional video or whatever. So that will be what I'm going to try to do. So that'll be at some point tomorrow, probably earlier than this. It won't be this late. It's going to be earlier on. And that way, people, I'm going to try to thread a bit of a needle with that. It's just tough because time zones are wacky. Anyway, that's the plan. So other than that, have a nice Thursday. If you don't come back, have a nice 4th of July. Or if you don't have 4th of July where you are, have a nice weekend in general. Otherwise, I'll talk to you all again on the next stream. Have a nice night, and talk to you again when I talk to you again. Good night. Goodbye. Good day. Good morning. Whatever. Bye, everybody.